Admiral John Parker stood on the bridge of the Liberty, Earth's flagship, his eyes fixed on the holographic display flickering before him. The Galactic Council's ultimatum echoed through the silent command center. Surrender your resources or face annihilation. The room was a blend of advanced technology and human ingenuity, the hum of machinery underscoring the gravity of the moment. Parker's hands clenched behind his back as he surveyed his crew, each member a testament to Earth's resilience and determination. Lieutenant Maria Chun, his second-in-command, broke the tense silence. "Admiral, what are your orders?" Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of concern. Parker turned to face her, his expression resolute. "We will not bow to their demands, Maria. Prepare the fleet. We send a message of defiance." Maria nodded, her fingers flying over the console as she relayed the orders. The crew sprang into action, their movements precise and coordinated. The Liberty's engines roared to life, and the ship shuddered as it prepared to leap into hyperspace. As the stars stretched into lines and the familiar blue of Earth faded from view, Parker allowed himself a moment of reflection. He remembered the countless lives lost in humanity's struggle for survival, the sacrifices that had brought them to this point. This was not just a battle for resources. It was a fight for their very existence. "We've come too far to turn back now," Parker murmured to himself, the weight of his responsibility pressing down on him like never before. Minutes later, the Liberty and its fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Galactic Council's capital. The station loomed ahead, a sprawling behemoth of steel and light, its defenses bristling with weaponry. Parker felt a surge of adrenaline as he assessed the situation, his mind racing with strategies. "Incoming transmission from the Council," Maria reported, her voice cutting through the tension. The holographic image of Counselor Zaranal materialized before them, her expression a mask of contempt. "Admiral Parker, you are making a grave mistake. Submit now, and we might show mercy." Parker met her gaze, unflinching. "We will never submit to tyranny. Earth stands free, and we will defend that freedom with our lives if necessary." Zara's eyes narrowed. "So be it." The transmission ended, and Parker turned to his crew. "Battle stations. Prepare for engagement." The Liberty's weapon systems powered up, and the fleet moved into formation. As the first wave of Council ships approached, the tension on the bridge was palpable. Parker watched the tactical display, his mind a whirlwind of calculations and contingencies. The enemy ships opened fire, and the Liberty responded in kind. The void of space lit up with the exchange of laser fire and explosions. Parker barked orders, his voice calm and commanding despite the chaos unfolding around him. "Focus fire on their lead ship. Disrupt their formation," he commanded, his strategic mind at work. The crew executed his orders with precision, the Liberty's cannons tearing through the enemy ranks. The Council's ships, larger and more numerous, began to falter under the coordinated assault. Maria glanced at Parker, admiration in her eyes. "We're holding our own, sir." Parker allowed himself a brief, grim smile. "This is just the beginning. We need to show them that humanity will not be conquered." As the battle raged on, Parker felt a swell of pride in his crew and their unwavering determination. The message was clear: Earth would not be bullied into submission. The fight for freedom had only just begun. The Liberty's engines roared again as it surged forward, leading the charge against the Council's oppressive regime. Parker knew the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but he was ready. For Earth, for freedom, for the future. And so, the fleet of Defiance carved its path through the stars, a beacon of hope and resistance in the dark expanse of space. The Liberty emerged from hyperspace, the Galactic Council's capital station looming ominously before them. Its massive structure bristled with defensive armaments, ready to repel any intruder. Admiral John Parker stood on the bridge, his jaw set in determination. He knew the stakes were higher than ever. "Admiral, the Council's fleet is mobilizing," Lieutenant Maria Chun reported, her fingers deftly navigating the control panels. Parker nodded, his mind already formulating a strategy. "Prepare all ships for combat. We need to make a statement." The Liberty's engines roared to full power as the human fleet moved into formation. Parker's gaze swept across the tactical display, noting the positions of enemy vessels. The Council's ships were vast and numerous, but Parker had faith in his crew and their resolve. A transmission from the Council came through, Counselor Zara Nales's face appearing on the holographic screen. Her eyes were cold, filled with disdain. "Admiral Parker, you persist in this futile defiance. You will be crushed." Parker met her gaze with steely resolve. "We've come too far to turn back now. We fight for our freedom and the freedom of all oppressed worlds." Zara's expression hardened. "Very well. Prepare to be annihilated." As the transmission cut off, Parker turned to his crew. "All ships, engage the enemy. Show them what humanity is capable of." The void of space erupted into chaos as the two fleets clashed. Laser fire streaked across the blackness, explosions lighting up the battlefield. The Liberty's cannons thundered, their firepower tearing through enemy hulls. Despite the overwhelming odds, the human fleet held its ground, their tactics and coordination outmatching the Council's brute force. Maria's voice cut through the noise. "Admiral, their flagship is moving to flank us." Parker's eyes narrowed. "They're trying to break our line, redirect the Liberty and cover our flanks. We can't let them divide us." The Liberty swung around, its weapons blazing. The enemy flagship loomed closer, its size dwarfing the human vessels. Parker watched the tactical display intently, calculating every move. "Focus fire on their engines," he ordered. "We need to cripple their mobility." The Liberty's cannons targeted the flagship's engines, unleashing a torrent of fire. The enemy ship shuddered under the assault, its movements becoming sluggish. Amidst the chaos, an unexpected transmission crackled through. "This is Commander Tarek of the Rithian Resistance. We seek to join your fight against the Council." Parker's eyes widened. "Patch them through." A new face appeared on the screen, an alien with a determined expression. "Admiral Parker, we've been waiting for someone to stand up to the Council. We're ready to fight alongside you." Parker felt a surge of hope. "Your timing couldn't be better. Coordinate with our fleet and target their weak points. Together, we can turn the tide." As the Rithian ships joined the fray, the balance began to shift. The combined forces of humanity and their new allies struck with precision, exploiting the Council's vulnerabilities. The enemy flagship, now heavily damaged, attempted to retreat. Parker seized the opportunity. "All ships, concentrate fire on their flagship. We end this now." The Liberty and its allies unleashed a relentless barrage. The enemy flagship erupted in a massive explosion, debris scattering into the void. The remaining Council ships, seeing their leader's defeat, began to fall back. Maria let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "We did it, sir." Parker nodded, his face stern but relieved. "This is just the beginning. We've shown the galaxy that humanity will not be subdued. Now we rally others to our cause." As the battle's aftermath settled, Parker gazed at the stars, his resolve stronger than ever. The fight for freedom was far from over, but today, they had taken a crucial step towards victory. The Liberty's engines roared again, ready to lead the charge in the next phase of their defiant campaign. Admiral John Parker stood on the bridge of the Liberty, watching the holographic display as the enemy fleet retreated. The thrill of victory was tempered by the realization that their fight was far from over. The Galactic Council would regroup and retaliate with even greater force. "Admiral, the Rithian commander is requesting a secure channel," Lieutenant Maria Chun reported. "Patch them through," Parker replied, his voice steady. Commander Tarek's image flickered to life on the screen. "Admiral Parker, our sensors indicate a large Council fleet massing in the outer rim. They are preparing for a counterattack." Parker nodded, his mind racing. "We need to strike before they can launch their assault. What's the status of your fleet?" "We are ready to assist," Tarek responded. "Our ships are faster and can provide cover for your heavier vessels." Parker turned to Maria. "Coordinate with the Rithians. We need a precise strike plan. Time is of the essence." As Maria relayed the orders, Parker took a moment to consider their next move. The Council's capital was vulnerable, but a direct assault would be risky. They needed to exploit the Council's arrogance and overconfidence. The Liberty's engines hummed as the fleet navigated through hyperspace, the stars blurring into streaks of light. Parker's thoughts were interrupted by Maria's voice. "Sir, we're approaching the coordinates. The Council fleet is in sight." The Liberty emerged from hyperspace, flanked by Rithian ships. The enemy fleet, a formidable array of warships, awaited them. Parker felt a knot of tension tighten in his chest. This battle would determine the fate of their rebellion. "Admiral, their flagship is at the center of the formation," Maria observed. "If we can take it out, the rest will crumble." Parker nodded, formulating a strategy. "Commander Tarek, your ships will distract their flank. We'll focus our firepower on the flagship." The Rithian commander's voice crackled over the comms. "Understood, Admiral. May the stars favor us." The combined fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. The initial exchange of fire was fierce, the void of space lighting up with explosions. Parker's orders were precise, his tactical mind orchestrating the battle like a maestro. "Concentrate all fire on their shield generators," he commanded. "We need to break through." The Liberty's cannons targeted the flagship's defenses, each shot carefully aimed. The enemy's shields flickered under the relentless assault. Parker watched the display intently, waiting for the opportune moment. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the Liberty. Sparks flew from the consoles, and the ship shuddered violently. "Damage report," Parker demanded. Maria's voice was tense. "Minor hull breaches, sir. We're still operational." Parker exhaled slowly, focusing on the task at hand. "Keep up the pressure. We're close." The enemy flagship's shields finally collapsed, and Parker seized the moment. "All ships, fire at will." A torrent of firepower converged on the flagship, tearing through its hull. The enemy vessel erupted in a cataclysmic explosion, debris scattering in all directions. The remaining Council ships, leaderless and disoriented, began to retreat. Commander Tarek's voice came through the comms, triumphant. "We've done it, Admiral. They're falling back." Parker allowed himself a rare smile. "This victory is ours, but we must remain vigilant. The Council will not relent easily." As the battlefield cleared, Parker addressed his crew. "We've struck a significant blow today, but the fight for freedom continues. Prepare for the next phase. We have allies to rally and a galaxy to liberate." The Liberty's engines powered down as the fleet regrouped, the sense of hard-won victory mingling with the anticipation of battles yet to come. Parker stood tall, his resolve unshaken. The tide was turning, and humanity, alongside its allies, would stand firm against any challenge the Council could muster. In the quiet aftermath of battle, the stars shone brightly, a testament to their enduring hope and unwavering determination. Explosions rocked the Galactic Council's capital as the combined human and Rithian fleet launched their final assault. Admiral John Parker stood on the bridge of the Liberty, his eyes locked on the chaotic battle unfolding on the holographic display. The stakes had never been higher. "Admiral, we're detecting increased activity around the Council's command center," Lieutenant Maria Chun reported, her voice cutting through the cacophony. Parker nodded, his mind racing. "They're making a last stand. We need to end this now. Target their command center and prepare for a full-scale assault." The Liberty's engines roared as it surged forward, leading the charge. The other ships in the fleet followed suit, their weapons blazing. Parker's strategy was clear. Strike at the heart of the enemy to dismantle their leadership and morale. Counselor Zara Nallis' image flickered onto the screen, her expression a mixture of fury and desperation. "Parker, you cannot hope to overthrow the Council. You will be crushed." Parker's gaze was steely. "Your reign of tyranny ends today, Zara. The galaxy will no longer bow to your oppression." The transmission cut off abruptly, and Parker turned to his crew. "All ships, focus fire on the command center. This ends now." The Liberty's cannons unleashed a relentless barrage, joined by the coordinated firepower of the Allied fleet. The command center's defenses crumbled under the onslaught, explosions tearing through its structure. The once imposing stronghold now resembled a crumbling ruin. Maria's voice was tense yet hopeful. "Admiral, their defenses are failing. We're breaking through." Parker felt a surge of adrenaline. "Maintain the pressure. We can't give them a chance to recover." The combined fleet pressed their advantage, each strike weakening the Council's grip. The command center, now a smoldering wreck, signaled the imminent collapse of the Council's control. "Admiral, incoming transmission from the Council's remnants," Maria said, her tone cautious. Parker nodded. "Put it through." A disheveled counselor appeared on the screen, his voice trembling. We surrender. The Council yields to your demands." Parker allowed himself a moment of relief. "Order all ships to cease fire. Begin evacuation and provide aid to the civilians." The Liberty's weapons fell silent, and the fleet moved to secure the area. Parker's orders were executed with precision, the chaos of battle giving way to organized efforts of relief and reconstruction. Commander Tarek's voice crackled over the comms. "Admiral, we have succeeded. The Council's forces are in disarray. Their reign is over." Parker nodded, his expression one of grim satisfaction. "This victory belongs to all of us. But our work is not done. We must ensure a lasting peace and rebuild what has been destroyed." As the fleet began the monumental task of restoring order, Parker took a moment to reflect. The battles they had fought, the lives they had lost, it had all led to this moment of triumph. Humanity and its allies had stood united against tyranny and emerged victorious. Maria approached, a rare smile on her face. "Sir, the liberated planets are already rallying behind us. They're eager to establish a new, just order." Parker returned her smile, a sense of hope filling him. "Then let's get to work. We have a galaxy to rebuild." The Liberty's engines powered down as the crew set about their new mission. Parker stood at the helm, looking out at the stars. The fight for freedom had been long and arduous, but they had prevailed. Now, they faced the even greater challenge of forging a future built on cooperation and mutual respect. The galaxy, once dominated by the oppressive rule of the Council, now looked toward a horizon filled with promise. Parker felt a renewed sense of purpose. The legacy of their defiance would endure, inspiring generations to come. In the vast expanse of space, under the watchful gaze of countless stars, the fleet of Defiance began the next chapter of their journey, united in their resolve and hope for a brighter tomorrow.